Palm colors is just straight out confused right now. If black people say that palm colors hate them so much, and if palm colors hatred towards black people is so obvious, then why are black people moving more often into palm color neighborhoods? Now, as much as there is no such thing as a palm color or white neighborhood, palm colors claim that black people are moving into their neighborhoods. Even though black people say that palm colors hate them, there's that love-hate relationship, and palm colors and black people don't seem to get along. But the answer is simple logic here. If that house is affordable, located in a safe environment, and that environment provides good opportunities, then I'm moving there for sure. And who wouldn't want to do that? It's so funny that palm colors make everything about race, especially when it comes to black people's actions and anything that goes on in the black community. Palm colors always want to turn it against and make a race conversation out of it. Here are the reactions and perspectives on today's discussion.
White people are so awful. Why do you keep moving to their neighborhood?
Because white people came here and stole this land to begin with, and then every time anybody who's black, brown, yellow, Asian, persuasion, anything other than white has their own neighborhood, you guys firebomb it or cover it with a body of water and call it a lake. That would be why. Oh, and if you don't do one of those two things, the only other option you have is gentrification. Y'all come in and take what's ours and try to make it yours, and then tell us we don't belong there. It's fucked up. What's worse is, why do you think that, like, a lot of white people would even agree with you making this video, sir? Do you know how many white people are sick of hearing white people say shit like this? How about we stop calling them white neighborhoods and black neighborhoods and Mexican neighborhoods and Asian neighborhoods and just live together in peace and harmony and just get the fuck along? Because the last time I checked, your nose sit in the middle of your face like mine, 2 eyeballs just like me, 2 lips, 2 ears, a heart that beats blood just like mine. So why the fuck do you care about the difference in our skin color when everything underneath is pretty much the same? That's fuck weird. It's weird as fuck. It is absolutely fuck.
I didn't think you could top the trans argument or the one about how things got done before illegal aliens who did the jobs that white people didn't want to do. I didn't think you could top those benchmarks of stupidity, but here you are. Well, because you took them all first. Or your answers, I should say. Ever since the dawn of this country, all of the best neighborhoods have been dominated by white people. And we know why. Because your ancestors pillaged from indigenous people and their families and their culture after they taught you so much about the land and befriended you. And you've made it so that other ethnic groups that came in either with you or after you, my people, the Asians, and so forth, could not so much as could not anywhere possibly be at your level. The system set in place. The system of white privilege. Of course, you went the extra mile with us. But since it's sunny and it's not hotter than Satan's, for once, I'm going to take it easy by not going in depth on that one. But yeah, Google's your friend. Get a real history book. Preferably ones that are from the perspective of indigenous people, of black people, of Asian people, etc. And that'll answer your question. Because the neighborhoods that were left for us were absolute trash, and without giving the funds, resources, or opportunities to make them better. In case you want to call the argument that it's because you want to start trouble, you want to keep things bad. No. Your ancestors who have passed it on generation to the people that are currently in power love it that way. And even certain people that look like you are feeling it, but you just don't want to admit it. And the weapon they usually get for you to keep, say, brainwashed is this preconceived superiority over the rest of us. But there are a lot more rags to riches story about poor white people than there have been about poor people of other ethnic cultures throughout history. In recent years, it's looked a little different, kind of sweetened the fairy tale. And that's all it is a fairy tale because unless you're groomed by the elites, they don't give a damn about you. Or if you're an ex-kisser, so they'll give you crumbs. You're clearly in that group, along with some people that look like me. Byron Donaldson is a name that comes to mind, along with a few idiot pastors. They get the crumbs. Oh, and Clarence Thomas. Because you're the white card-carrying... I don't think you'll say blue collar. You're a little too metro. But you probably say you're the normal, reasonable white guy who doesn't buy into all this white privilege crap or his victimization. Congratulations, you've fallen for the grift too. Peace.
I take it you never heard of gentrification then, huh? No, I don't think you have. I really don't. Yet I find it so funny, so damn funny, the fact that you will defund our neighborhoods, defund our schools, take away all the programs, fuck up things to the black community, and you'll wonder why we try to move out or try to get away from it so badly. But when we get away from it, y'all trying to come back in now. Try to patch things up there. You already know, once you see a Starbucks up, white folks have invaded. What, we don't deserve good homes? We don't deserve good schools? We don't deserve to be in good neighborhoods and raise our kids to be in a safe environment? You're wondering why black people move into white neighborhoods because you don't want them in white neighborhoods. That's why. That is why. You don't want someone that looks like me and darker in your neighborhood. You don't. It goes all the way back to time back in the 40s and 50s when you guys were redlining things. Yeah, don't you remember that? After World War II, a lot of the black GIs, when they got the GI Bill, they had access to the education, but they didn't have access to the housing. You never wanted us around. Let's keep it 100. You need to... You hate us, but you use us. That's the most ass backwards thing I can think of, honestly. You don't want us, you don't like us, but somehow you keep us around for some reason. Why do y'all keep with us? Why do y'all always have to invade or take over or disperse everything that we're in or a part of? Why is that? Are you afraid of something? Are you afraid that one day one of our youngsters are going to influence your kids? Well, guess what? It's too late. We already have. You just want to put black people in check. That's all it is. That's all it is. I'm on to you. I'm on to you.
Because it's not your neighborhood. You don't own the neighborhood. If I can afford to live in said neighborhood, then I move to said neighborhood. It doesn't belong to you. You own a plot on the block. You don't own the neighborhood. Herein lies the problem. You believe that you alone should live in said neighborhood. And then when I move in the neighborhood, it means that I hate you, but I want to live next to you. Maybe I don't hate you. You hate me. You hate me. And so therefore, you're looking at me moving in your neighborhood as a curse.
Black people are thugs and we rob people. Why you keep moving to our neighborhoods? That's food for thought.
Basically, we do it just to piss y'all off. You know what I'm saying? Not because it's America and we can live wherever we want to live. We do it to piss y'all off. We close on the house, we do a big barbecue, and we wait for y'all to call the police on us because we love it so much. And we have fun doing this, and I gotta say, it's a big joke, it's a big thing, right? we realize that us breathing and living already piss y'all off, but we love to put an extra seasoning on that joint, like a little chuckle. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that it piss y'all off, so we have fun, and that's why we do it. Where's your neighborhood? I'm moving next door.
Well, that's simple. Because you turned our neighborhoods to shit. You flooded them with guns, drugs, and criminal elements. You redlined them. You kept them poor, economically disadvantaged. The schools are there. So yeah, to get that American dream, we have to move into your neighborhoods. Because when we had our own thriving neighborhoods for decades and decades and decades, you flooded them, you destroyed them out of your jealousy. So you wouldn't let us have our own, so we'll just come and take some of yours. Hope that answers your question.
Mostly it's because we want to live in a neighborhood that we would have chosen outright many moons ago if it wasn't for white people and their redlining techniques, keeping black people out of neighborhoods that were just in general much better financed and built better. So when you decide to move to an area where the school is built better because of the property value of the neighborhood, I mean, you're not doing it because white people are there. You're doing it because you want a better education for your kid and you want better value in your home. And a lot of that is dictated by the color of your skin, because if you sell a home in that same neighborhood and you happen to leave up black pictures in the house, when they come in and they try to investigate to see how much the house is worth, they give it to you at least $100,000 less on average. It's not like we just trying to hang around white people. I mean, I got no real super beef with them right off the bat. I check every single one of them when they do something out of line. N-word, get punched in the face. Say some weird shit that seems a bit racist. I check them like that. Jewish, if they're Jewish and they try to do some shit too, I check them as well. Doesn't matter. As long as everybody can get checked. So, it's not a matter that we're trying to live with white people. Don't get that misunderstood. It's not something that we're trying to do. We're just trying to live a life that we should have already had in the first place, but, white people decided to try to take that. Got any other questions?
Sir, I think you're getting this confused. It is the clear people that are moving into these urban communities and gentrifying it. And honestly, this is America. This is stolen land. So nothing on this land is considered yours. If you have a problem with us moving to a land where y'all affiliating around, maybe you should go back to your native land, wherever that is.
That'd be y'all problem. Y'all think it's your neighborhood, but guess what? That same white person's neighborhood you don't want us to move to, they actually own property, houses, and rental areas that are downtrodden, aka y'all call them the ghetto, and then they let them run down so bad so they can sell them on pennies to the dollar to other investors of the city. That's why we keep moving to y'all's neighborhood, because y'all keep letting our neighborhoods get ran down, or you keep making sure that we get trumped up charges in court so we can't get a good job, we receive felonies, and it's hard for us to buy a home. Yeah.
Their neighborhood, I'm so confused. I'm lost right now.
I think the perfect way to start this discussion is that human beings are actually just nomadic in nature. Like, people usually move from one location to another in search of good pastures, greener pastures or good economic environments and all that. It's a normal thing to move from one place to another in search of opportunities, and nobody should shame you for that. Like, it shouldn't become a racial thing all of a sudden that you've moved to this palm color dominated society because you can afford the rent there and there's actually a place for you to move to. Like, why shouldn't you? Or because of this palm color person. People have often done this in ancient societies, where if the land becomes infertile, they'll move to another place where the land would be fertile. Like, just take for instance when deserts were being formed, right? If that place becomes a desert, you would move to a place where there are plants, where there's a stream and all that, simply because you want your family to survive. It was a normal thing to move like that. That is the reason why humans are nomadic in nature. right? That's where that term comes in. Nobody was doing some prejudices and stereotypes like, dude, you're supposed to stay here where there's a desert and that heat that is gonna unalive you very soon. Why should you stay in a bad economic place or bad place, for instance, where you even know that you're not gonna survive? Like, that's absurdity to the fullest. In fact, it's even more absurd to stay in a desert than to move to that greener pasture, to that wonderful place. Even if a palm color person says that that's their own territory, if you can go there and you're affording the rent and you're doing pretty much everything to survive and to thrive, you do that. So nobody should stop you from evolving and from thriving. But the other thing that I find so absurd about topics such as this are palm coloreds like this man right here who start discussions like these when their whole race, culture, and everything that they have was just pretty much appropriated from other societies. I'm talking about even the land that he's standing on, even that restaurant that he's in, even that house that he's renting, even that apartment that he's in. Everything was gotten from people that it belonged to in the first place. They pretty much just stole it, appropriated their cultures, and did everything outrageous and erased those people's history. But here we are, a couple of decades into the future, the same people, the same palm-colored people that stole those lands and appropriated those cultures are now complaining that black people are moving into our societies or our neighborhoods. Like, what's even more crazy is that this palm color person has the audacity to even call it his neighborhood or palm color neighborhoods when it's black people that built everything in the first place. Like, don't you think black people should deserve the majority of all these spacious places that these palm colors claim to have or claim to possess? Now, let's look at the percentage. Even though these palm color people are saying that black people are moving into their neighborhoods, it's not even like that big of a deal. Like, it's not a lot of black people. So the percentage of black families moving into predominantly palm color neighborhoods is relatively low. Surprisingly, right? According to a study, about only 5% of black families moved to palm color neighborhoods. Now, this indicates that while there is some movement, the majority of black families tend to move within predominantly black or mixed race neighborhoods. So as much as they talk about this moving, it's not like a big number. But in recent years, of course, we've seen some movements of black people into palm color dominated places, but it's not like a lot. It's not like a scary figure. No. Heck, when you compare palm colors that have moved into predominantly black societies compared to the black people that have moved into palm color societies, the numbers for palm colors are pretty huge. Like, I'm talking about tourist numbers here. I'm talking about palm colors that move into black societies all over the world. Who condemns them? Like, whoever comes on social media and talks about that, right? Why? Because it's good for the franchise of palm coloredness, right? Everywhere that they go, they want to promote themselves as the tourists and all that. But as much as they do that, their tourism hasn't contributed like greatly to black societies. I'm talking about reaching the point of raising prices for houses, right? House affordability goes up in black societies, especially in African countries when palm colors visit. You know why? Because they come with their influence, the dollar, and they just want to palm colorize everything, if that's the term. I'm talking about making everything their own. Like, haven't you seen recent videos about palm colors when they would go to a black or a place that is predominantly for people of color and they want to make it their own, right? They create these only white parties, even if that society isn't theirs. So, like, what's the better thing here? Whether black people move into predominantly palm color societies or palm colors wreck everything that was pretty much good and appropriated, because palm colors always do everything just to benefit themselves. So, which one is the better alternative? Palm colors moving into black societies or blacks moving into palm color societies? So, if palm colors don't want black people to move into predominantly palm color neighborhoods, then why are they, or the majority of palm colors, moving into black-only neighborhoods, black-only countries? Like, who invites them? Who ever called palm colors to colonize Africans or indigenous lands? Nobody. But now, black people just want to enjoy what they sowed, right? They want to reap where they sowed. And in this case, they are the ones that created and built those palm color societies that you're claiming to possess. I have come to the end of our discussion. If you found it enlightening, thought-provoking, or anything in between, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And leave me your thoughts in the comment section and tell me whether this palm-colored argument is actually valid. I'll see you in the next video. Signing off for now, and take care.